Another day, another shitty video. But anyway, what's going on, people? Bounce back here, and today I just got a simple vlog for everyone, and yeah, I'm just gonna be going to the Alias Entertainment Expo anime convention today. So for now, I'm just gonna have a time lapse musical montage of me just getting there. So skip. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention about this convention is that I'm actually gonna get to meet the voice actor for All Might and Vegeta, Chistopher Sabat. Editor, throw a picture up on screen. Throw a picture of him up on screen right here. Right. Yeah, so this is gonna be fun. And I'm gonna be doing some voice impressions for him, so yes! I met Chistopher Sabat.
S-H-A-U-N.
It is true.
It is true.
I am
Here.
I have my stunt double here in Trinity. You're my official Trinity All Might stunt double. It's
I'm glad
official
to
now.
be here. I'm glad to be that good sir.
Nice.
See you later, brother. You'll take care.
I'll see you at the stage, good sir. Now that was good.
Indeed, it's our battle!
It's our fight, our battle. Oh my god.
It was just really epic.
Okay, so something really cool just happened. So for autograph signings and selfies with Chistopher Sabat, you gotta pay $160, but since I did his Vegeta and All Might voice for him, I got everything free. It's honestly really cool. I'm honestly too happy right now. Nothing can piss me off.
So let's give Mr. Chris Sabat a warm Trini welcome. 3, 2, 1.
Hell yeah!
Is this when I come out? Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, wow. I've got this whole runway right here. I could do a talent show. I could do a fashion show right here.
Work it, Vegeta, work it.
Hey, I'm Chris Sabat. I'm a voice actor from Dallas, Texas. I started in 1998 on a show called Dragon Ball Z. Has anyone heard of that show? Does that just happen in Trinidad when you say something cool, a cool thing happens in the speakers?
Yes!
Hell yeah. What? What? All right, whoever is doing that, keep doing that, because that's awesome. Anytime I do anything epic, you have to follow it up with that sound. I don't know if anyone's doing it or if it just happens magically in Trinidad. I was the voice of a character that's probably in real life maybe about this tall. He has really spiky hair, and he's constantly angry. His name is Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans! And people, especially ladies, listen this! Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting into the spirit of it. This doesn't happen at conventions in the United States, so bear with me, that's pretty epic. I was also the guy who's really green, and he hangs out with a guy named Gohan. His name is Piccolo, and he likes to special beam cannon! Oh yeah, that was good, that was good. This is all this is, they said I had a panel. They didn't tell me that all I have to do is come up here and do loud voices and then things explode and you guys cheer. This is the best. Of course, I also play this guy, he kind of sounds like this, and he used to be really friends And he does the
Oh,
work
no.
like this. Do you guys know who he is? Yamcha! Yeah. He's dead right now, so that's cool. Yamcha always dies. Like, always dies. I like the fact that in Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama has decided that, like, Yamcha is so dorky that even he jokes about how often Yamcha dies. Do you remember Dragon Ball Super? They play that game of baseball? And Yamcha, like, ends up dead, curled up on the ground, just like he was against the Cybermen and stuff like that. God, poor Yamcha.
No one cares about Yamcha.
I actually did more than 3 voices on this show. You see, I've been directing this show since 1998. Since many of you, like before many of you were born, I think. I don't know, I can't tell. It's hard to see. These lights are blinding me. I did this other guy, and he's got like this blonde, it's kind of white hair, and he's like in the Guinea Force, mate. You guys know Jace? Yeah, Jace, he's like so amazing. And when he dies, because he's Australian, I wrote in a line, he didn't die because he was Australian, but when he died, because he was Australian, I had him use this very special word that they only use when they die in Australia, which is just, Oi! That's how he dies. That's how Jace always dies. Jace is basically just Yamcha with an Australian accent.
I played this other guy. His name was called Raccoon, and he got dumber as the series went along.
And then there was another dude I played on the Ginyu Force. I basically played the entire Ginyu Force for the most part. His name was Berta. Basically, Vegeta with a sneakier voice. That was so good. I love it. Whoever's doing that, I'm gonna hug you after this is done. It's so good.
Expect a hug, my dude.
All right, so I'm supposed to be asking you guys, like letting you ask some questions too, but I'm not gonna let you do it just yet. Let's see. I was another guy, he was also searching for the sacred water most of the time with a guy named Kami. You guys know who Kami is? Kami sounded like this all the time. And he had someone with him named Mr. Popo.
Mr.
Mr.
Pervert.
Popo does not lie.
Mr. Pervert does not.
Sorry, that is probably the most racist character in the show. I did not draw him. I just did his voice. He is very smart, and I've always begged the game companies to make Mr. Popo a playable character. Because he'd be a dope-ass character to play, seriously. Because Mr. Popo basically trained the 2 kids, Goten and Trunks, right? When they were trying to do the fusion. Anyway. So I guess I will open this up to questions. Is there a microphone floating around out there? Or are you guys just going to scream something out at me that I won't understand? Because even when you're standing next to me in this town, I barely understand what you're saying.
Sorry.
We need a microphone out there. Oh, is there one? I think so. Someone's walking around out there.
Hello?
There we go. Wait, where's the sound coming from? Oh, there you go. Who has a question out there? Does anyone have a question for me, Dragon Ball related? Oh, this person does. Oh, never mind. You're next. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I told him to save this question for the
Oh, well, you sort of answered it when you did it. You go deeper. So.
I go deeper.
Yeah.
But you found another question.
Oh,
right?
I had a couple.
Okay, good.
When you were gonna do Vegeta, was it because he's royalty, you went for a slightly thespian kind of, he pronounces his words really properly.
Yes, he does. He has very good diction and a little bit of formality to his voice.
I do realize
Yeah, we thought since he was royal, if he was royal Saiyan blood, that he might have kind of a royal sounding, almost Britishy type,
Like-
just a taste of British accent, but without any of the bitterness. Actually, with all of the bitterness.
And why isn't he the king of all Saiyans now that he's dead? How come he never claimed that?
Because he never had a coronation ball.
Okay, cool. Well, cool. Maybe I'll ask another question later if anybody else.
Well, I've always thought it'd be funny, like if he, let's say hypothetically, he did become like King Vegeta, right? And so they've got this power to wish back universes and wish back planets and stuff. I thought it'd be really funny if one day they did wish back Planet Vegeta. But then Vegeta has to stand in front of them and explain to them how things are now, because a lot has happened. He'd be like, excuse me, fellow Saiyans, pardon me, I have a couple announcements. As you can tell, you've all been brought back to life, which is great. But I just want to run a couple things past you. You see, we're not mean anymore. We all take families and we have children. No, we don't eat our enemies anymore. No, you in the back, stop eating that person. We don't eat anyone. We don't conquer planets. We just stay home with our wives and children. I know that it's going to be very difficult for many of you, but that's how it goes now. Are there other questions?
Yes, yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, Todoroki.
This is a question with regards to voice acting in general. So a lot of people, when they hear dubbed anime, they tend to shy away from it, mostly because they prefer sub, right? My question is, when you translate to the Japanese, and you have to now bring that cultural essence and all that into English, what is your thought process and your process to get the voice to properly, essentially?
There's a lot of things that go into the dubbing process, actually. Because first the translation comes in from Japan, and that translation goes to writers who work for Funimation. And those writers take the translation and they try and fit it to the mouth movements. Because if it didn't, it would just look like the old Speed Racer cartoons where nothing actually fit into the mouth. And so the writer's responsibility is to try and make it sound good in English. And my philosophy on dubbing is that I feel like the dub should bring something to the show that the subtitle doesn't have. And one of the things that we can bring to it is the ability for you to watch the show and not have to read at the same time, which is kind of nice sometimes, especially when
Didn't we just talk about this in the debate?
Like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like I'm watching a show and I'm gonna wanna check my email at the same time. It's very nice to be able to still follow what's going on in the show. Another thing, I like to bring, there's certain funny moments that happen that only those of us who work on the show or know the show kind of understand. But occasionally we will change a line or two in the dub to make it more fun. For instance, there's this moment where Bulma is trying to get Vegeta to come to her birthday party, right? And in the Japanese, like the raw translation, it's like, you should come to the birthday party. And he says, I don't want to come to a stupid birthday party. But we changed it to like, she's like, come on, Vegeta, come on, get over here to the birthday party. It's like, what, so we can hang out with Yamcha? Because there's something about the fact that Yamcha still hangs out with Bulma even after they haven't dated for so long that makes me so incredibly happy. Because how angry would that make you if like your wife or like girlfriend or whatever just still has her ex-boyfriend living at the house with you? But then later, I don't know if you guys have noticed in Dragon Ball Super, Yamcha has an apartment. And like next time you're watching the show, I always pay close attention to Yamcha's apartment. It's like literally the most boring thing in the world. He has like nothing in it except a single bed that he sleeps in with his cat. And he has one table that only has one chair at it, so he's never gonna have someone come visit him. Usually has one flower and then a picture that changes over his bed. That's all he has.
Also, I follow you on Twitter, of course. And I saw that you posted the scene of you screaming. That scene, and you said you fancied that scene. How long did it take you to shoot that scene?
To do a lot of screaming scenes? I mean, usually as long as the scream lasts, because my philosophy on telling people to scream on Dragon Ball, and there's a lot of it, is usually you have to scream so loud that you're gonna break our microphones, or else it's not good enough. So most of the actors that work with me will know that you have to do the loudest.
Yeah, basically, if your throat's not hurting by the end of the session, you didn't do your job right.
Or else it won't be good enough for Dragon Ball. So I tell actors when they come in, I'm like, there's two ways we can do this. You can either scream and it's not good enough, and I'm gonna make you do it twice. or you can scream really loud and hurt yourself, and then it's correct, and you only have to do it once. So that's kind of what we do. Like, it's gonna suck for you to do it twice, so just get it right the first time. So people who work on Dragon Ball, we scream. I mean, that's the thing about Dragon Ball that we like about it. Like, that's the one thing Dragon Ball has over any other show, is that there's more screaming in it than anything. And it's gotta be loud, and it's gotta be intense, and it's gotta break your brain. So, are there more questions out there? Yes. This is the question row right here. If you have a question, you have to be sitting in the question row, apparently.
Alright, as a voice actor, I'm wondering, what is the process you go through when you get a character and you're wondering, what type of personality does this person have, or the pitch that they should have for the actual show?
Vegeta's just very angry.
That change, especially when you have a lot of voices.
How do you get into character, basically?
I think that's like a special skill that voice actors kind of have, that we like to be able to look at a character and say, that's what that thing sounds like. Like, it's sort of this native, like, it's like kind of how an artist might decide that's how they want to draw a cartoon. You just have to have kind of a creativity. But I'll look at things like, you know, what size is the character? What is his face shape? Does he have his tongue hanging out? Like, is he a smart character? Is he like does his face look all crunched up? We try and do different things to decide what sort of characters to play. Now, in anime, we're lucky because we also have the Japanese version. But in most cases, when I come in to record most shows, you'll be cast on the show and you won't know anything at all about the character. And the director's just like, all right, hey, this is your session right now. You're playing an old man who is missing like an eye, and he's really in a lot of pain or something, and that's what you're doing right now. And so you just have to kind of snap into it and just go. But for me, like, the difference between, like, a lot of the difference between a lot of characters that I play have to do with where I place it in my throat.
Like, Piccolo's the deepest, and you put almost no scratch in your voice at all, like as deep as you can go. And then
Yamcha's like basically the same thing, except Yamcha's just like as
Much
high as
higher.
the voice can go with no scratch in his hand. And then if you tweak it a little bit and add some scratch to it, then it becomes Vegeta's voice. It's like it's all just different places in your voice, and once you use it long enough, you'll kind of get used to those things.
Next question.
Good evening. Remember Bruce Falconer?
Bruce Faulconer, yes.
Would he be coming back to make more compositions for Dragon Ball?
To my knowledge, no. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. Bruce Faulconer did a lot of the music for the Dragon Ball series, but he stopped once we took on Kai. And I think things are different now. The music is way different. Because back in the earliest days when we were working on Dragon Ball Z, the soundtrack for Dragon Ball Z in Japanese was, when we got the materials, it sounded pretty bad because we got really bad materials. So when we got the soundtrack in, it just sounded like. It sounded really, really bad. So we're like, we can't use this. So we found a composer. Bruce did a great job with the Dragon Ball Z series, and we just haven't used him since then because now the soundtracks are coming in with way better music on them.
I have another question.
Sure.
What's your take on the portrayal of Vegeta in Team 4 Star's average series?
Those guys are hysterical. How many of you guys have heard of Team 4 Star? Yes. A lot of people come up to me and ask me to do quotes from Team 4 Star. It's just, I am the hype! And those guys live in Dallas. They're friends of mine. I really like them. They're really good people. They're hysterically funny. And the first time I saw Team 4 Star, my jaw dropped. I'm like, well, those guys sound very much like us. And then I was like, that's really freaking funny. The first time I heard Piccolo yell like, climb down, was one of my favorite moments. And it's only gotten funnier since then.
I have one request.
Please.
Oh boy.
You remember All Might?
What?
If you remember All Might.
All Might, yes, I've heard of him.
Can you quote what he said to Deku at the sunset very last words.
Eat my hair.
Eat my hair.
Hey, people as busy ladies, listen this.
You too can be a hero.
You too can be a hero. You're welcome. Yeah, see, there's two parts of All Might's voice. I was going to talk about My Hero Academia in our next panel, but that's okay, I can talk about it here. Like, All Might has the kind of the big, buffed up, huge voice that sounds like this. And then his like deflated form just kind of sounds like me. Which is kind of what I like.
You don't have to put a voice
So I
on.
don't do anything too crazy for him. Because that show has, like, My Hero Academia has so many great moments in it that are great, like, acting moments I absolutely would love to do. We'll talk about that more this afternoon, probably like in 2 hours or something like that. I think my next panel is like, I don't know when my next panel is, like 4:30?
At
No,
4.
4. Okay. This row knows everything, so if you want to know anything at all, hey, you had a question right there. She has a question. She like stood up in her chair.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, your voice is so high. I was not expecting that.
So earlier in the panel, you said that you directed in some other series, and I was hoping to be a director myself in the future, and I was just hoping for some tips.
Well, my tip is to get into acting first. Because a lot of the best directors I know have also come from an acting background. So I don't know what's available here in Trinidad. Probably not a whole lot, but there have to be people that are making movies or making things here.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there's got to be some sort of community.
but not
of
no
people
American
who are
speakers.
making films or television or even if it's YouTube shows. Like, the thing that's important now to remember is that we have something called the internet, and people like Team 4-Star are a good example of people who are just taking something and creating something themselves. And a lot of people have been following that method. When I first started, there was no internet, really. It was barely there. It was sort of there. If you wanted to download a photograph of some sort, you could wait all night for it to download. Like, you'd have to start it in the 5 o'clock one day, and then by 10 o'clock the next morning, that photo would be kind of like the internet access you have here at your hotels. And I'm sorry, I'm joking. It's all hotels.
It's true.
No hotel has good internet access. But yeah, my advice to you, and it'd be to anyone who, I met somebody earlier, he wanted to be a voice actor, she wanted to be, how many people want to be voice actors in here? Yeah, that's awesome. Now, voice acting is something you can probably do remotely. As someone was pointing out to me earlier, there are apparently recording studios out here. A lot of it's for music, but it's possible. So, get online, look at online resources like voices.com and stuff like that. You might find that there's clients out there that are looking for some sort of Caribbean accent on something, and you might be just the right choice. So, kind of keep researching, keep looking. What sort of directing were you wanting to do? Like anime, like voice directing or film directing?
Voice directing.
Oh, mostly anime? Like directing the actual animation? That would be pretty cool. Now that I can't help you with because I can't draw anything. You'd have to move to Japan to get those answers. That was a good question. Are there any other questions? Yes, right behind you. Just pass it on over.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
I wanted to know when will the new Dragon Ball series start?
Starts tomorrow, actually. I don't know if you guys are, I'm kidding. They have not, I'm sorry.
That was messed up and you know it.
And just like take it out of context, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble on the internet. They have not told us if and when there's ever going to be any more Dragon Ball. I'm hoping there will be because there's more manga, and why wouldn't they turn it into any more series? I would think that it would come back, but they don't tell me anything. The Japanese are very secretive, and they have ninjas and stuff that like follow me around to make sure that I don't know anything. But Like, would any of you guys want to see any more Dragon Ball Super? Like, cool. Yes. Gosh, that's the best thing ever. I'll just call Japan real quick once I get off the panel and tell them that you guys want it. So I'm sure that'll speed them up a little bit. Are there any other questions? Because I think this section's almost over. You back there. I don't know. We're gonna have to somehow get the mic over there.
Hi.
Hey.
I wanted to know when, do you remember Brodor's right?
Yeah.
I wanted to know when would we be expecting the fight between him and Egon?
That would be an epic thing to see. I'm hoping to see that, I don't know, maybe episode 4,750 is my guess.
What?
I don't know, you guys know One Piece, right? There's like so many episodes of One Piece. Like, so I'd say it's somewhere in the 4,000s or 6,000s episode or something like that. That's my guess.
Oh, I have one more question.
Sure.
I've actually been creating an anime and I wanted to know what in particular, what makes people want to watch it? Like what
How do you attract people?
characteristics the main character has to have in order to make it great?
Well, if it's like any other show, the main character has to be kind of stupid.
Goku?
Just a little bit stupid, but strangely powerful for some reason. Or you just have to be crazy smart with no powers and then hope that somebody gives it to you. Let's see, in anime, the character has to be able to eat a whole lot of food because apparently that's very sexy. You have to be able to make up attack names, like Zoro, which he seems to just make up on the spot. Like 3 wind style, epic, fox, wind double damage, sword attack. What? Yeah, I don't know. The shows I've worked on have been really special, and I think the thing that makes shows really good are shows that people can really kind of relate to. The concept of becoming stronger, becoming the best thing you can possibly be, the concept of training really hard, the concept of like really wanting to help people, that I think that really resonates with people a lot. I look forward to seeing your anime someday. Bring it by, I would like to take a look at it.
Yeah, I will definitely be one of the protagonists, for sure.
Excellent. I can't wait to voice it. Take care. Thank you. Good question. Oh, look, there's a whole line of questions. Here we go.
Hi. I'd like to ask a question about how do you feel about the voice actor as Captain Yami from Black Clover?
Captain Yami in Black Clover. He's one of my favorite characters to voice right now because he's so funny. He just kind of walks in, he's like, I want you guys to pass your limits and then take a dump. And then go beyond your limits and then don't bother me while I'm taking a crap. Impressive. Yes.
How did you feel when he was in the dungeon and he was fighting Veto and he surpassed his limit?
Of course.
What was your experience in that field?
Oh, it's like such a great scene, honestly. I like the fact that he does a lot of like martial arts that don't require a lot of screaming on my part. He just kind of does a cool attack, like, I don't know, dark cloak, lightless slash or something like that. And then that's it. Like, he doesn't have to do any like power-ups to transform it into anything. I did just recently dub over what will be probably one of the later episodes in this new season, where he's fighting some elves. Are you guys familiar with that section? Yeah, it's like, that's such a cool scene. There's a lot of cool stuff that happened. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's just watching the dub, but it's really cool.
One more question. When
Sure.
King Julius, because of King Julius, died when supposedly died in the manga.
What'd you say?
When King Julius did die,
Yes.
the episode.
That's a bit of a spoiler, I think. Just a tiny spoiler.
Right, when he died.
Okay, cool. Yeah, remind everyone of that.
What was your emotion when Captain Yami saw that action happen in front of him?
My reaction was like, cool. Does he get to be the king now? I want him to be the Wizard King. I'm kidding. It was a really emotional scene, actually, to do that. Of course, he doesn't die, guys. Why would he say that? I mean, they would never tell you that a character died in the show. That's impossible. It'd be really silly that would ever even happen. So, yeah, it was a pretty emotional scene. I loved, like, for him to go from just being this guy who likes to take a bath in the dump and to be somebody who's like really like fighting for someone that means a lot to me.
I'm gonna go ask a question.
I can understand the debate between you and your friends. I'm only now starting to be able to understand this Trini accent, by the way. I do appreciate all of you who are slowing down when you talk to me, because when you start getting into your like deep accent.
Full Trini. Full Trini. You're just gone.
Basically win in a fight between All Might.
I want someone to hold my phone when I ask him a question, because I'm gonna do the Vegeta voice.
Since it's a Dragon Ball panel, and Monkey D. Luffy.
You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Ooh, all right.
Like, you willing to hold the phone?
So like a three-way bout between Luffy, Vegeta, and All Might.
All Might in his pride.
Because I'm just gonna ask a really dumb question.
Well, I'd say that
does he
All
ever
Might
catch himself like
Luffy
talking to
would
himself as
probably hug it
Vegeta or
out
something?
for a while, because they get along really well with one another. He's like, I should have passed my power on to you.
I'm only just gonna ask that.
And Vegeta would he's probably the most cunning of them, the one who's like most likely not to give up. And I could see All Might and Luffy just going like, why are we fighting? This is ridiculous. And Luffy's like, turtles or whatever he says. And then Vegeta would probably destroy the boat. That would be my guess. Because Vegeta's an alien, and he's a god. Come on.
That's why I need Vegeta and not Goku, because I know Goku is going to take it automatically, but the other two...
Goku wouldn't take it automatically. Goku would just, he would let somebody else win, obviously, and then so you have to remember, that's the only reason why I would say that Vegeta might not win, because you know the Saiyans never like to actually win a battle. They like to let someone get stronger first, and then try and beat him, and then sometimes they
BS, but yeah. Perfect sale.
They could not take hands. They had to slug it out.
Right. Then I would say All Might over Luffy. All Might over everything else. So it's settled, guys. It's canon now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So out of all the animes which ones would you say that you didn't want to do originally when you pitched the idea, or when you like ever turned down any anime and then later on you actually joined to it?
I don't ever turn down anything. Because when you're an actor, it doesn't matter what it is. When you get given a role, I mean, unless
You're given a role, you better take it.
Like something totally inappropriate, or like you don't like. I mean, there hasn't actually been a.
Say like I get
there might have been
the
one
role
or
to play a
two
side
shows,
character.
I
I'm
guess,
taking that. I'm
I
taking
turned
that.
down, but only because
I don't
they
care
were,
if I get like 5 lines an episode. I'm taking
pornographic
it.
or something like that. I was like, sorry, man, I got kids. I can't do that one. But in general, I don't turn down any roles. There was a time when I was playing the Ox King in Dragon Ball, and then I gave that character to Kaya Bear because I thought he would do a better job of it. Because Ox King started off as a different character, but when we went back to Dragon Ball, he had to be like, you know, a fighter and like really power up and stuff like that. And Kyle, I think, did a much better job of that than I did.
And one last question is that out of all the animes,
Hello, Vegeta.
as long
Hello there, Vegeta.
you also keep going back to it.
What'd you say?
Of all the anime, like the voice and which one, and as long as it keeps running, would you actually do like, would you like drop an anime or stop it?
Oh, I would never give up Vegeta ever. I will scream Vegeta for the rest of my life. Thank you. I'd say I would never give up, like All Might at this point. Sound effect required. Boom.
Perfect.
And of course, most importantly, I would never ever give up Yamcha, Wolfgang Fist. Seriously, I'm gonna need a copy of those sound effects so I can put them on my phone when I go home.
Hook this man up.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you, Rihanna.
Celeste, what cool?
Okay.
I have two things. One, can you please say the scene from right before UA's sports festival, Young Jordan? When you go up in front of the crowd.
Remember,
present
I
yourself proudly and
say,
"Do not
I
say,
am here.
I am here."
Young Midoriya, when you face the crowd, you need to look at the crowd and smile, because I don't remember this line very well.
Smart.
And then you will say, I am here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good
Okay,
enough.
good. Are you crying? And if you're crying, then I've done my job. Like good. And then he would say, eat my hand, because I.
One last thing. How would you like it if we made a crossover between, because I heard when the other dude was up here, you were like, dude, this ain't spoiler. And then the person behind me said, we trying and put our Avengers Endgame here. Then I was like, is Avengers Endgame anime style? How would you like that?
I would love to see Avengers Endgame anime style. I'd love to see more. Like, have you guys seen like the anime version of Batman?
Yes.
Batman Ninja. That's cool as hell. I wish they would cross over
Vegeta
more,
Thanos.
comic book universe characters with anime.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
A follow-up question when you said about Team Forza. As you already done that, have they ever asked you to do that against characters?
Well, of course, I could never officially do any work with Team 4-Star because they are technically not sanctioned by Toei or any of the companies. So yeah, I would love to work. I would love to have worked with them, but unfortunately, because I do the official voices, I'm not really allowed to do any voices for a parody dub of the show.
All right. Just one follow-up question.
Yeah.
Frieza, Kid Buu, Cell, Jiren. When will Vegeta ever win?
Ah, good question. Vegeta will win like a moment before the show is over. Because what'll happen is that he'll win, it'll be epic, and he'll be about to celebrate. He's like, I finally done it. I've become the and like they'll roll the credits, and he'll never be able to see his victory speech because for whatever reason Akira Toriyama does not want to see Vegeta win. He just gets robbed. Now the one way Vegeta does win, and I think many of you would agree with me on this, is that he wins for being a way better character than Goku.
I guess.
It's true.
Hi, I'm a fanboy. I have two rapid fire questions for you and one maybe longish question.
Okay.
The plural of anime is anime or animes in your opinion?
The what?
Plural.
Plural.
The plural.
The plural of anime.
Is it anime, like sheep, or is it animes?
It would be anime. Like,
Okay.
there are many different types of anime. There are, look at all this anime we have. I don't think you would ever say, look at these animes.
Yes.
We would.
But whatever you say,
We would.
And the next question is leading into the other question. Can you answer the next question in the voice of Vegeta?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so you know the Oscars, they never do anything from the West, the East, the East from Japan. They never have any anime movies. What are your thoughts on that? They just nominate them and that's it. That's all the language they get.
And you wanted me to answer that in Vegeta's voice.
Yes.
The reason why there's no Eastern anime in the award ceremonies in the United States is because the Oscars are lame. Who's watching them anyway? If you look at any Oscars from any year, it always seems like some retroactive award to give some director an award they forgot to give him 20 years ago. So maybe 20 years from the time that Dragon Ball is popular, then Dragon Ball will get some sort of Academy Award. You're welcome, goodbye!
You're welcome, goodbye, damn.
Last one.
You are the last, this better be good.
Okay, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yes, I have.
So there's a scene where Yanu's talking to Star-Lord who says, "You'd like to make your father joy, but he wasn't your daddy." Now, I think that line worked perfectly, particularly speaking to Gohan.
Yikes!
You're saying he might have been your father, boy, but he was not your daddy. You're welcome. And that's the end of this panel. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna go take a picture with some My Hero Academia cosplayers here in a minute. So if you're in My Hero Academia cosplay, go to somewhere. Go to right here on the stage because we're all gonna take a picture together. All four of you.
Calling all My Hero Academia cosplayers.
My Hero Academia cosplayers, come here!
Now that's actually really cool.
My Hero Academia cosplayers, please make your way to the stage now for a photo opportunity with Mr. Sabat.
Take it? Okay.
My Hero Academia cosplayers.
All My Hero Academia cosplayers.
You can hear her way better than you can hear me, I think.
Make your way to the stage for this photo opportunity.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Last call for My Hero Academia cosplayers.
We are famous.
One more photo. Let me know when you have the shot. And smile. We got it.
We got it, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for all of My Hero Academia cosplayers.
And a round of applause for Mr. Sabat, please, everybody.
Alright, so now that you guys have seen what a dance looks like, let's finally teach you guys what to do. So our lovely instructor Vegeta sorry, was fancy 75% speed music.
how they're gonna do it faster.
Hello, can I just interrupt for 1 second? 1 second. Sorry, Fancy. Sorry. Last call for the VIP and regular autographs. All right. This is the last call for the 2 p.m. signing. He's going to have one more later in the day. But if you want to get anything autographed from Chris Sabat, this is the last call for this particular signing. Thank you. Sorry, Fancy people. Continue.
Okay, so before we move on, I will just ask you now just to come up again. Because some of you guys are too far in the back, so walk up, please. Walk up, please. I can see the people in the back. Come on, walk up. We're trying to not get backstage. Come on, walk up, guys. We have so much space in front. You can walk up. Okay, so now that you guys have walked up, we will now do fancy at 100% speed music.
Oh boy. Check out my dude in the front though.
Wow! Y'all did not tell me y'all were like professional dancers. How are y'all doing so good? Okay, so let's do it guys. Around the circle. BTS is Boy With Love at 75% speed music. Now is the real challenge. The real challenge, and if you all seen Elias's post on the random to dance, you know that challenge coming for the dance. So, let's do BTS's Boy With Love at 100% speed music.
Again, check out my dude in the front row though. They're gonna do both of them now.
So let's start off with Twice, Fancy at 100% speed.
On the guy doing nothing.
sprint. Let us do BTS's Boy We Love at 100% speed. Music.
The second panel with our guest at Alias Entertainment Expo 2019, Mr. Chris Sabat. I want you to give me the biggest, loudest, vibesiest cheer that you can to welcome him once more to the stage. Alias, are you ready? Are you really ready? All right. Let's give it up for Mr. Chris Sabat.
Hello! I am here. You're welcome.
So you know who Chris is.
Yeah. Were you guys who was in my panel earlier? Okay,
nice,
good.
come back for more.
Well, I'll introduce myself one more time for some people who weren't here earlier. I'm Chistopher Sabat. I'm the voice of Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, Mr. Popo, Kami, all the dragons, Gazmez, Raccoon, Jason, Berta from Dragon Ball. I'm also Zoro in One Piece, and I do Yami in Black Clover. And oh yeah, it gets me every time. And let's see, Zoro, One Piece, Yami, Black Clover, and other things. But mainly these days I've been working on a new show called My Hero Academia. How many of you guys are familiar about that? I play the character All Might, and he has this like epic power called One for All. That's pretty brilliant. So in order to keep things going quickly, because I only have a half hour, we went and got some questions from the internet, and she's gonna help like ask some of these, right?
Yes, I will. So we got some questions. We got your questions. Let's start with an easy one, Chris. How did you get the role of All Might?
I auditioned for the role of All Might for Colleen Clinkenbeard. She plays Momo in the show. She's also an excellent director. She had me audition for it, and then she made me audition for it again and again and again. And I keep giving her a hard time about this because she kept like rejecting my audition and going like, that's okay. I think you could maybe do better than that. So she just had me keep like redoing my audition. I felt like I like did it 4 times before she was almost like, yeah, I think that'll be all right.
And that's a big part of when you have voice acting to do. They make you do it over and over again until you get it right.
Yeah.
Because it's important to get it right and just right.
That's right. And repetition is something we do quite a bit of. Because not only when we're working on the show, maybe you're aware of this, maybe you're not, but the show comes from Japan, and we have to watch the series. We have to watch the show and then speak our lines into the character's mouth. So it takes a lot of like careful timing. You have to watch the video and read the line at the same time.
So what do you like about All Might? We know why we like All Might, but what do you like about it?
I love All Might because, well, first of all, I'm a dad and I have 2 girls. My oldest daughter, her name is Hero, and she's 8, and I have a younger daughter, her name is Nova, and she's 4. And there's something about All Might kind of being this like superpower dad kind of character, in a way like Piccolo is to Gohan in Dragon Ball. But I just love this concept of him wanting to pass on his skills to other people. Because I've been doing this a long time, and I'm not going to stop doing it, but it feels good to start like sharing your skills and start passing it on to a new generation of actors that are coming through. So this has been fun for me.
Excellent. And do you have a favorite character, not All Might, in My Hero Academia? If you could pick All Might, who would be your next favorite character?
I mean, clearly it's All Might, but let's see. Small Might's cool, but I'd say probably my favorite character is Mineta.
Any Mineta fans in the house? Yeah. One. Okay. Right on.
I'm a big Mineta fan. It's just such a bizarre character.
So just you and Chris.
Just the two of us, actually.
Okay, and you called a couple character names, but do you have like a favorite scene from any of the episodes that is either memorable or that you really like?
Man, it's crazy how fast like the show gets really good. Like the first 2 episodes are still some of the best episodes of anime I've ever worked on.
All right.
Like if you haven't cried like 5 times in those first 2 episodes, then you're like not a human. See, I love like All Might passing his power on to Deku. I love All Might's visit with Deku's mom eventually in the series.
Okay.
Where he kind of sits his mom down and is like, look, I'm sorry, I need to do a better job like protecting your son as well as teaching your sons.
Right.
I don't know, I have this weird fantasy though, that like Midoriya's dad is gonna come back. And it's gonna be right after All Might and Midoriya's mom start getting to be pretty close.
Okay.
But then his like,
wow.
Yeah, his deadbeat dad's gonna come back to town and he's gonna be a real jerk. He's gonna like, what are you doing hanging around with this is my son. You should get away from him, you freak.
So All Might is a lot about relationships. And you know, this is a hard question, but I'm gonna ask you. You know what shipping is, right?
I know what shipping is.
Between 2 characters.
Do you guys know what shipping is?
Hell yeah!
So okay, Chris, who do you ship on All Might?
Oh, okay.
On All Might or any other character in My Hero?
Okay, well I was just talking about All Might and Deku's mom. There's something about that relationship.
Okay, alright.
But we don't know if Deku's got a dad, so we don't know that for sure yet. So he's not gonna make a move until he's sure. However, did you guys see that last My Hero Academia movie? Like the 2 heroes?
Yeah.
I had this weird, I don't know, did you guys get the same weird feeling that like Dave and All Might were like dating in college or something like that?
Okay. Who got that?
It was really bizarre. Like he was really excited to see Dave. Like, oh Dave, so good to see you, Dave. And like he really wanted to see Dave. And then when he saw Melissa, Dave's daughter, he got a little bit like he was happy to see Melissa, but you could kind of tell he was like, yeah, Dave's daughter, Dave's woman. Although you don't see Dave's lady anywhere.
Right. And if you could have any quirk, what would it be?
I have sworn to Justin Briner, the guy who plays like Midoriya. Like I had this, like I told him I was going to try and come up with a new answer to this every time I was on a panel because I had a feeling it was going to come up a lot, and it does, like every time. So, okay, my quirk this weekend, if I could have any quirk, would be to be able to understand that Trini dialect really well. That's what I would want my quirk to be this weekend.
Nice.
Man, I've been trying to learn it so much, but then I just feel like I'm offending everybody every time.
Nah, we real cool.
What's the phrase you were trying to teach me earlier?
I real good.
I real good. Okay. I real good.
Good.
So I'll ask you a question like, so how have you been enjoying your time in Trinidad?
I've been real good.
So 2 more questions, and then we'll just take a couple questions from our audience. So think about what you might want to ask. The question is, what are your hopes for the future of the show? Where do you think it's gonna go? No spoilers.
No, I don't have any spoilers because I don't know any secrets.
Oh, they don't give you the script ahead of time?
No. The only thing we get in terms of like spoilers are just like the manga. Do you guys read the manga at all? Yeah. So I will tell you this, my only hope for the series is that All Might doesn't die. That's all I care about. Anything else can happen, but All Might, I don't want him to die. So much so that one time I actually met the creator of My Hero Academia. It's Hiroshi Sensei. You see his this hand at the beginning of every manga. And I have this thing where it's easy to meet famous Japanese people. You just have to kind of keep your eye out and know when they're going to go outside to smoke, because for whatever reason, people in Japan, they still smoke a lot, especially the real creative ones. Don't smoke, kids. Bad
Say
for you.
no. Say no to
Say no to cigarettes. not good. So I followed him outside because we were all eating dinner, and I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, I'll give you $50 American if you don't kill All Might." He's like, "Oh, I cannot take money for a bet." I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding, obviously." He goes, I said, "But please don't kill him." He goes, well, I cannot tell you one way. I was like, "But if you do, you can do a crossover with Dragon Ball, and go get the Dragon Balls and you can wish him back."
Right.
And he goes, "That's a good idea."
Nice. So point to you. So our final question, are there any funny stories about working on the series?
Man, the funnest thing has been getting to travel and go to fun places with the My Hero Academia cast. Like a few weekends ago, I was in Destin, Florida. It's a small town in Florida. And I went to the grocery store there and I bought Midoriya, the guy, Justin Briner. I bought him an entire outfit at the grocery store. Like the kind of outfit you would see in a grocery store in like a small island town.
Right.
So and he wore it the next day. It was like bright yellow, like bright pink pants and a visor and like red glasses and it was pretty dope. He looked pretty rad.
Nice. Thank you so much. So guys, look how much you learned.
So much learning.
Chris is so great to come and share with us his experience with the anime series. So I know some of you have some burning questions. I'm only going to take a few. So hands up. Right, so I see you.
Come on.
It takes a few people and then they just start pouring in. Hey, Black Bulls.
Nice to meet you. You are my favorite English voice actor.
Oh, thank you so much.
What I want to ask is, Dragon Ball Z is, do you think that the writer of Dragon Ball Z is ever going to be Vegeta 5? Because I know he personally doesn't like the character.
That's funny. I have had this theory that Vegeta represents to Akira Toriyama, the creator of the show. I feel like Vegeta was based on some bully that he didn't like or something, that he's just trying to torture, but he lets him do really well and then he takes it away from him. He lets him do really well and he takes it back. Resurrection F was the biggest crock of crap I've ever seen. Vegeta got so robbed in that movie. Do you guys agree? He should have been the one to kill Frieza, hands down. It was his job to kill. He had more beef with Frieza than anybody else. And you know how Whis, they bring him back in time and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do a temporal do-over so that you can save the universe." And then Goku jumps back to right before the planet's gonna blow up or whatever, and then gets to kill Frieza. If it were Vegeta, really, he'd go "Wait, what the heck happened?" And "Well, we did a temporal do-over," and it's "Well, then do it again." So he would just want to keep going back in time until he got to kill Frieza.
Thanks so much.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
In Trinidad, we really, really love anime, but
I found that out.
we have a big problem here, and I know why it is, but I'd like to find out what to do. Funimation is not available down here. Most of Crunchyroll's library is locked off. All the subtitles on Netflix are in Spanish, and I don't know what the licensing on the subtitles are, but so we have only a few options, which are to import DVDs, which become very expensive with the import taxes and stuff. So what would your advice be?
My advice would be to pirate all of your anime.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Ahoy, we made it. Starboard side.
Someone's gonna upload that, that person right there is gonna upload it and go, "Chris Sabat says pirate all your anime." What? But what? Seriously though, it does sound like a problem. So I'll talk to some people. I don't have a whole lot of pull, I don't know. It just seems like maybe you all have been forgotten out here. I have no idea why. But we need to, I'm going to go back and tell everyone how much everyone here in Trinity loves the anime. We got to fix that. We're going to fix it.
So we have a question.
Way over there.
An either or question.
Aye.
Between Vegeta and Piccolo, who do you prefer?
I prefer Vegeta over Piccolo. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people like Piccolo. I totally get it. He's cool. He's green. He chills out. He hangs out in the iceberg. He's got really sensitive ears. He can hear everything except for when he doesn't. But I've always been a little confused about Piccolo's character because Piccolo, you know, he came from an egg, and if it's a spoiler, I don't know if you've never seen the series. Like Piccolo just doesn't have as good of a backstory, in my opinion, as Vegeta. Vegeta has by far, hands down, the best backstory and the best character arc of any character in the series. Vegeta is the best character in Dragon Ball, I'm just telling you that. That's the reason why I think Akira Toriyama has kept Vegeta in the series, because I don't know if you've noticed lately, it's always been about Vegeta and Goku. Like the Broly movies out here, right? You guys saw the Broly movie? Yeah, that movie was about Vegeta and Piccolo, like, taking on Broly. They had equal screen time.
So you have to kind of talk to yourself in studio.
Yeah.
Two characters.
I love talking to myself.
Nice. So we have another question.
Good evening, sorry.
Hi.
Question for you when it comes to voice acting. How long do you think you'll have until Nolan North takes over you?
Wow.
Nolan North. He's too kind, man. He and I are buds. He wouldn't try and take my stuff. He's got so much going on in his own world, he doesn't need anything else. I mean, Troy Baker's probably going to get there before he does anyway, because Troy Baker already took all of Nolan's stuff too.
Oh yeah.
It's a fight.
Yeah, it's me again.
Oh, you again.
It's kind of a continuation of the problem with getting animated. Is it because Cartoon Network had the rights to the English one? Because I have to admit, I have not even finished Super because I'm waiting for it in English. Mainly because of, Vegeta, honestly.
Appreciate that.
And I've been avoiding spoilers for a long time because I've had something spoiled because of it. But I have not finished Super because I'm waiting for that. And there's no way to get it.
I honestly don't know, like, what territory this even is. I don't know who owns...
It would be Latin America, Caribbean.
Latin America?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I could very well watch the subs, but I don't.
But you wouldn't want to.
No.
Goku's not a woman.
It's really hard. Well, and there's one thing, if it's okay for you to say it, and I feel like you probably don't want to say the last part, but it is a loud one. You may have taken over my mind and my body, but there's one thing I say and always keep. I don't blame you if you don't do the ending. It's a little
okay.
Yeah.
You may have taken over my mind and my body. But there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps.
Salam!
His pride! And if people are ladies, please.
So again,
Hi.
My question is,
Kirby.
my Hero Academia priest, what is the most important lesson that the Hero Academia has taught you?
The most important lesson in My Hero Academia is that you too can be a hero. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? And also, if you eat someone's hair, it can make you more powerful. So kids, start eating up that hair. It's good for you.
Yeah, my question is, besides Midoriya, who would you choose to be the next successor for One For All?
The next successor for One For All would probably, I don't know.
Definitely not Bakugo.
Wow. I mean, you'll find out in the next season, if you guys have been reading the manga, that there might have been another option that All Might had in his pocket for this if he hadn't found Midoriya. I'm not going to spoil that who it is, but I don't know if we're not counting anything up to the current manga or the current season that's about to come out, I'd probably say he would give it to Cementos, because he's useless otherwise. Like, it would be funny if he gave it to like Midoriya's mom though. Like she had to learn, she had to train like he did, and her hands would explode. So anyway, pretty gross. Sorry.
Hi, good day.
Yeah.
When do you feel Dragon Ball Super will return?
I feel like I want it to return ASAP. I think I'm the same with you. I want it to return right now, but there's no indication just yet as to when exactly it's coming or if it's coming at all. As I said in my last panel, they don't tell us much of anything. They are pretty secretive.
Mind holding my phone when I ask my question.
Really know. I have a feeling
yeah,
like in my gut,
my phone and recording when I ask my question.
There's just too much more story to tell.
Hi, I'm a joke. Alright, so let's...
Okay.
That's a good way to start.
You're on roller skates too. This is great. This is the first joke I've ever gotten.
It's not a joke. This is more of a question of a joke. So are you sure that Midoriya's power is not crying? Because like, every single time he cries, a floor broke.
You're right.
His name's not
quirk.
Deku. Just like Mr. I cry myself in every goddamn episode.
His work is like called Waterworks. And whenever he gets upset, he can just flood the room. I did see a meme the other day where it was talking about a lot of the different characters and what their hazard symbols would be. And like it had, for, Bakugo, it had the explosive symbol. For, Todoroki, it had like, frozen and then hot, whatever. And then when it got to Midoriya, it said like, fragile, handle with care.
So this is our last question.
Last question.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you ever catch yourself like talking to yourself like as either Vegeta or All Might?
I know that you do.
Yes.
Because I have met you. I only use I use the characters' voices sometimes. Like if I ever am going to a concert or something like that, or if I want to scream something in a large crowd, I always scream like Piccolo. It's like yeah, because I just like people staring at me like that with some freaky voice. But Yamcha, I use All Might's voice when I'm on the phone with customer service, because if you have my voice, you literally can get anything you want on the telephone. Serious. This guy, he does some good voices. I think you know him.
Nice. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you. Oh wow, I've been rewarded with this. Hey, I can't thank you all enough for having me to your kick-ass country. I love it here. I wish I could have spent longer. Sorry I have to leave like at 3 o'clock in the morning tonight, but I have to get back for a session early Monday morning, and it's an important one. But thank you all for having me. You have all been like really awesome, even though I can't understand 90% of what you're saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Sabat, give it up.
Thank you. Take care.
Sit tight, we have more to come with Alias Entertainment Expo. DJ.